Welcome to Tehachapod, the City of Tehachapi's podcast, where we share conversations with local leaders, business owners, and community members. Don't miss an episode. Be sure to follow and subscribe to learn something new and discover ways to get involved in our community.
Welcome to Tehachapod. This is Nick Tanaka, and today we're sitting here with a handful of people to talk about the railroad show that is coming to Tehachapi. And today I have Marlan Woodside, I have Brian Bell, and Hojat Entezari. Thank you guys for joining us.
Well, thank you for having us.
So, Marlan, tell me a little bit about the event. What can we expect from the event?
Well, the event is the 11th and 12th of April at the Tehachapi Education Center there on Snyder Avenue. It is a free admission event that we're holding for families to come and be entertained at the Tehachapi Education Center. And we are going to have exhibits and vendors there with railroad-related items.
What kind of exhibits?
Well, these will be model train layouts. The Tehachapi Loop Railroad Club is the organization I represent, and we put on events like this where we have layouts and then railroad memorabilia. Tables will be there. Their local friends at the Tehachapi Depot will have a table there, as well as our own railroad club, the Tehachapi Loop Railroad Club. There'll be other vendors there as well. We don't have an admission fee associated with this, but we do hope that people will either donate or purchase items from those vendor tables that help us defray our costs.
And how big does this event get?
In years past, we've had 350 to 400 people. We kind of like that I voted sticker. We have numbered stickers that we place on our visitors there, so we feel fairly confident that we have those numbers to stand by. So if you are a vendor or exhibitor that want to participate in the future, we can confidently say you'll be exposed to about 400 family members attending our events.
And you need a rather large facility to facilitate 400 people.
That's definitely true. Our facility person in our organization is estimated about a 5,000 square foot facility is needed. And if you've looked around Tehachapi, there's not too many of those kind of facilities available.
No, there is not.
We're certainly appreciative of our past support by the Tehachapi Valley Recreation and Park District in offering their Aspen Builders Incorporated Activity Center. But they have been scheduling, of course, some more sports-related events, which has caused us to seek another facility. And that's where the school district certainly stepped up, offered their facility available to us, engaging in a lease with them.
Now I should direct my attention over to this side of the room. Can you guys tell me a little bit about the facility?
Well, I'll just get started here. So met Marlan over at Sipping with the Soup, pitched the idea to us to have a community partnership, if you will, right? Make sure that we're supporting our local community partners. And we thought that this would be an event, if you will, that would be really advantageous for us and exposure-wise. Hojat, kind of talk a little bit about the facility that was just remodeled.
So the Tehachapi Education Center, I know that facility is very important to the community, whether it was Jacobson Junior High School or Monroe. Some people go for Saracoso Community College, currently houses the Boys and Girls Club, the JMS after school program for those kids. But we also have our Tehachapi Independent Learning Academy there. It's just a facility that means a lot to a lot of different people for different reasons. So we've invested a lot in our facilities, especially those that we make available to the community. And so we're just really happy to show off the good work that we've been doing and all of our efforts. And I think this is one of our first non-recreational events that we'll be having there. And so really happy to just kind of expand our efforts and make sure that people know that we're doing our best to provide a facility for the community. And so really happy to support Marlan and the Tehachapi Loop Railroad Club.
This really has a lot of synergy with TUSD's mission. You know, this is a family-friendly, good educational event that can teach people not only about locomotion and all the mechanical engineering behind that, but also the history of Tehachapi. We are very well known for the Tehachapi Loop, which I have to ask, will there be a Tehachapi Loop model at the event?
Unfortunately, the space required to set something like that up is not going to be able to be supported for this show. But you do touch upon an important point there, much like the Friends of the Tehachapi Depot's mission to talk about the railroad's impact on the history of Tehachapi. We are about to embark upon the 150th anniversary of the railroad coming through the town. So we are working in conjunction with the Depot group, Friends of Tehachapi Depot, the Heritage League Museum, and looking at the 7th of July of 1876 is when the railroad came through the town. So having a model railroad club emulate some of that, at least touch base with it, I think is an important connection there.
I know that the railroad pulls so many people from out of town. I mean, just from seeing how many people stop by the depot and how many people, right on that corner of the depot, I always see someone with a camera aiming down, waiting for the Union Pacific to drive by, just like waiting for that perfect shot.
With a railroad club like we do have a variety of presentations there. When you really get down to what they call rivet counters or the nuts and bolts of it, some people, it's kind of a point of pride to say, oh, you're modeling the 70s because they recognize the old scarlet and gray of Southern Pacific, or no, you're representing modern times with a Union Pacific or BNSF modeling there. So while we don't have a loop, we do have representation of that history there associated with it as well.
And if someone wanted to get involved even further with this event or this organization, how would they go about doing that? Who would they contact?
Well, we do have a Facebook page. Just search for the Tehachapi Loop Railroad Club, or our website is TehachapiLoopRailroadClub.org. The date announcement will be on there, again, 11 and 12 April. 10 to 5 on Saturday, 10 to 4 on Sunday. Again, no admission is being charged here. Bring the kids out. There's, interestingly enough, a related activity is the Bakersfield Model Train Show coming up this weekend. Now, they do have a $10 admission fee, and 12 and under are free there, but that one, I'll have to admit, is much larger than ours, but it certainly gives you a nice lead-in into, make it up there, certainly a $10 event over at the Tehachapi Education Center.
Are you guys looking for any sponsors for the event?
We sure are. I certainly appreciate you mentioning that because, again, while the show is free, the facility is not. The school district is being very fair with regards to their rates and all that, but we are looking for sponsors, and us learning how to develop sponsorships. It's a new game for us, but the idea that we're pitching is that if you want to present something from your business, say you have some product there that might be family oriented there, we're going to offer you a table for your sponsorship. No necessarily a set fee. Any dollars contributed towards that would go to covering the cost of us leasing the facility. We do promise to give you a report of what we've done with the money, and any money left over, if that be the positive case, we would certainly carry that forward to our August show. I think it was the 16th and 17th of August. We're looking at that date.
16th and 17th, is that nailed down?
Let me refer to my brochure here to make sure. 15 and 16 August, same time, Saturday and Sunday, 10 to 5, 10 to 4 on Sunday. But we do have, like Mr. Bell and Entezari were saying, we are looking to establish a long-term relationship. Appreciate the past relationship we have with the Recreation and Park District, but we are looking to make sure that we kind of have a continuous or continuity established with our locations in the future. And so this opportunity here, in the past, we have done one show in the past, and it was our most well-attended show. So we're really seeking your audience out to please come and support us there with your donations. And again, if you have a business sponsoring us, please contact us. My cell number is 442-247-4532, Marlan Woodside, and we would love to hear from you.
And this sort of event, is this something that you guys are looking to, at TUSD, kind of foster more of?
Yes. So ultimately, being good community partners is really important to TUSD, right? And so being able to partner with Marlan and his groups and organizations is fantastic. Students have such an affinity to trains, right, as they grow up. And this is a good, positive environment that sits well with our community. And I think that continuing to partner like this and be able to utilize some of our facilities, it's right up our alley.
Do you have a dream event that you wish would show up and say, hey, we want the facility?
The train show, it happened.
There you go. That's what we want to hear. Because we really do feel there is some mutual overlap of missions and support for education, learning skills, such the hobby itself would allow you woodworking, electrical work, artistic displays. We're a 501c4 organization, nonprofit. We're only only about 25 members, so it is a rather small group. Started in 1993, so we've been almost here in the community for 30 years. But unfortunately, we're kind of aging out a little bit, so we're really looking for the new audience. I think, Nick, you and I discussed in another event there that age group of 20 to 40 is kind of an interesting segment out there that Tehachapi does have opportunities like that to get involved in a show like this, as well as get involved in the educational mission.
And if a particular young person was listening to this podcast and they were interested in joining the Railroad Club, how would they go about doing that?
Well, again, on our website, we have our application form. Individual membership is $45, a family is $70. Just recently at the Sip with the Soup meeting this morning, I met a lady whose son is involved in the school district there, and she was not aware of our club opportunity. And so, again, while a young person, say 18 and under, would need to be sponsored by a parent, we don't want to start a daycare facility here with our railroad club, but you can understand that there are concerns about safety and being mature in involving yourself with our club. And so that is a stipulation that for a family of that nature there, they would have to have the adult and the child join. And that's, as I said, is an annual fee of $70 and $45 for an individual membership.
And do you guys meet weekly?
We have a business meeting once a month, and then the shows, in the past we've had 3, and then kind of a Christmas dinner event for the fourth quarter. And I think due to scheduling this particular year, we couldn't do a January event, but this April and August one seems to be working out. We'll try to camp out on the school's doorstep there for next year and see if we can squeeze in a January or early winter event in that regard.
And you had mentioned earlier Sipping with the Soup. Can you tell me a little bit about Sipping with the Soup? What is that?
Yes, so Sipping with the Soup, once a month, we meet over here at Cohen's and make ourselves available. And I say us, meaning, board members, myself, and then my district team would be over there to communicate with family members, to talk anything about their experiences with the district, both positive or if there's a frustration, and be able to really connect with our parents and get that up close feeling to be able to really deal with whatever might be troubling them, or to elaborate on their successes. I had a parent today just asked about, how is everything going with their child, and their child, just nothing but positive events from their student. And that was really nice to hear as well.
I'm glad you guys have the same philosophy that the city has with access. We have a coffee with the mayor. We have these weekly walks that we go on Wednesdays. And the whole concept is to lower the distance between the people who are working at the city and the people who live in the city.
Right.
The walks have been a great way for us to be able to have a very low barrier of entry. You don't have to be there just to talk to people. You could just go on a lovely walk through downtown Tehachapi. And same thing with the coffee with the mayor. You could just be there and enjoy some coffee. Mountain Coffee House, delicious coffee. But if you needed that, if you needed the ability to contact your representative, to contact the people who are actively working in public works, in the comms department, people who are pulling the levers and making the machine go forward, if you wanted to have a conversation with that person, you absolutely could every single month, every single week at these public events. And I think that it's really important to have that lower communication distance. How often are you guys doing this Sipping with the Soup, and when do you guys do that again?
First Tuesday of the month. Starts at 7:30 in the morning, 7:30 until 10, and open for anybody to stop by. We've got a few regulars. Marlan happens to be one of them, right? But it can be anywhere from parents to community partnerships as well. It's about connecting with, like you said, right, connecting with those that live in the community, and lower that threshold, provide access to anybody that we need to speak with. Hojat was with me this morning, talking about maybe some facility use and anything that would deal with facilities, right? That way he could be able to speak firsthand knowledge on that.
Yeah, we notice at the Sippin' with the Soup event that while someone's there and you help them, they'll start thinking of all these other things that they might want to talk to someone about that might not have to do with instruction, right? Facilities use does come up a lot. And so if Marlan had emailed me, his enthusiasm for the show wouldn't be as obvious. But when he's sitting in front of you and you see just how much they're looking for a permanent home and how the district is looking to showcase all the work that we're doing on our facilities, it sparked a really good opportunity. Working in a school district, you know that community-based organizations are tough because, we have a lot of involvement, but when kids age out, then sometimes the parents don't need to be as involved. And so we know how hard it is to find that ongoing, consistent partnership. And so whether we change superintendents, board members, chief business officers, in order to provide the club a permanent home for their event that's for the community, that's something that we are happy to provide and is only possible through events when you're publicly facing the community.
And we are very excited to have this opportunity to have a permanent, hopefully, home with regards to the Tehachapi Education Center, because, again, it's just a nice blending of the missions that both organizations have there to further promote education, arts, skills, crafts, things of that nature.
If anybody, whether they went to school at that facility, that if they haven't been there in the last 6 months or so, strongly encourage you, come check it out. It looks totally different. We did a lot of work. It wasn't just paint. It was a lot of improvements, and we've noticed that has created a lot of positivity with our community and our relationship with them.
And then I would also like to add for those that have been in the audience that have been around for a while, the Friends of the Tehachapi Depot is nice enough to let us, as the Railroad Club, park our little red caboose there on the corner of Green and Tehachapi Boulevard by the train depot. So look for that coming up, and the school has graciously agreed to us including their logo on the banner. They're advertising this event, and it's a generic banner saying this coming Saturday, this coming Sunday, so we can promote multiple events there, but it just is a visual representation of that relationship that we're beginning with the school district, and we're certainly appreciative of that.
Right on. Well, thank you guys so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. This has been Tehachapod.
You've been listening to Tehachapod. If you have a question, a thought, or a suggestion, email media@tehachapicityhall.com. We'll catch you again soon, right here on Tehachapod.